I'm Piet Van Den Boog. I live and work in Amsterdam. I'm 60 years old and I'm a painter. It sounds silly, but what I do is paint with chemicals. And this part, it's the white of the large piece, which is the surrounding white. I use a chemical which, with this lead surface, gives a white residue and a white oxidation process. What I liked about this photo was the emptiness of the white. I wanted to have this composition of her laying down on the bottom of the painting with the leg up and with like a sheet thrown over it. And I wanted to be completely white, almost white, except for the face and the hands. That's what I wanted to have painted. So what I created here is the background, not by painting it, by oxidating it, so that lead white is being produced and stayed on there. And the leg, in this case, is being painted, and after that, pieces of lead are put on top of it and oxidated, so the oxidation pigments are sublimated on top of the painting. So in this way I created this white of her, the sheet that's on top of her. I had two ways of education, more or less. I was educated as an electrotechnical engineer at Delft, the Technical University of Delft, in telecommunications. And I did that study for about 10 years and started to work with Philips. During my studies in the Technical University, after I did my bachelor's and going into master's, I had enough time to do something else. I was also doing sports, but I had always the love for painting, for drawing. The world of being an artist interests me enormously. In contradiction to the world of being an electrotechnical engineer, which is being very rational and exact, and the artist's world is more intuitive, more emotional driven, and I wanted to make a balance between both, I think, and that's why I always have the idea that finally I would be an artist. But that's in retrospective. I'm not sure if I realized it by then. And this painting came about when we were doing photo shoots with the model. And at that time I had all the images I shot on the computer screen, and for some reason they all were displayed horizontal. So at one moment he was looking at his own image in this way, and that started the idea of making a portrait not at a very classical vertical position, but to have it horizontal. And this gives you, we talked about drama, this gives you different drama. Because the half of the face is then completely in shadow, and I could here play with all the elements of abstract forms and colors, and have this eye looking at you like it becomes completely the center of the painting. Every time when you look at another part, you always return to the eye and then start to look at another part.
Sylvia Plath has always been of big interest to Piet Van Den Boog, and this kind of desire to make the most of the time that you have. Of course, she had a very difficult life, right? And Piet looks at her writings And oftentimes his paintings are named after some Sylvia Plath's writings or maybe some songs from Tom Waits or other artists. But he always looks at this kind of essence that you have to seize the moment, right? But of course in life there's a kind of uncontrollable quality in life, right? And Piet's always dealing with this kind of element. You could see it very much in the alchemy that he uses on the surface, where he uses different processes from acids to patinas, and he works with different copper plates and puts them on the surface. And there's you could call them mistakes, but there's things that happen that are somewhat out of the control. And it talks very much about this present moment, because we can't control everything in our life. And the show title, Bruised and Battered, right, which is the third solo exhibition of Piet Van Den Boog, really comments on not only the surface and the abstract elements that he takes, this kind of chaos that he deals with, or we all deal with in life, but also the elements of these portraits and the physicality or the emotion that he portrays on the surface.
I read a lot of the quotes of Sylvia Plath. I was very much attracted to those lines he used, which are very short but very to the point, and just like putting a finger on a sore spot. And that's what I like about using her titles or parts of her quotes. And that's what I wanted to also put in every of the portraits, that not just that you're looking at the portrait, but that the portrait is also looking at you. It's investigating you as a viewer, so that you get some sort of an interaction, and that brings out the emotion in the viewer. And that's what I would like. That's why most of those, or all, I think, portraits are actually looking at you very intensely.